All right, New Edition fans. Luckily enough, the Bobby Brown story is coming on September on BET, and I feel like I've definitely done, various non-Tyler Perry related content on the channel. Entertainment, music, a little bit of politics in there sometimes, not really. But I feel like a New Edition is definitely one of the most discussed non-Tyler Perry topics on the channel. I love the group. I grew up with the music. I still listen to it today, obviously. Even before it reignited, thanks to the New Edition story, I definitely been jamming to their tunes for a long time. And BET, I believe during the BET Awards last weekend, which I didn't watch, dropped the Bobby Brown story trailer. And I'm going to put a link in the description below. Usually I sometimes put trailers in the videos I'm talking about, but due to the fact that the trailer itself is over a minute long, it has various songs in it, it will get flagged for copyright the moment I upload this video to YouTube. So for obvious reasons, I can't do that. So I have some screenshots of different scenes of the trailer in this video, assuming that doesn't get flagged as well. And overall, I was hoping the trailer would be a bit longer. I think the New Edition story trailer that was released at the BET Awards in 2016, so obviously in June of 2016, when the actual 3-part event occurred in January of 2017, as opposed to, in June we're going to show the Bobby Brown trailer, and then in July, not even 3 months or so from then, we're going to have the Bobby Brown story 2-night event. And I actually own a copy of his autobiography, Every Little Step, which is, I believe, the forefront and basis of the actual biopic itself. And obviously, the number one question people are asking about this film, whether or not they're going to show Bobby Brown frying chicken with cocaine. I'm sorry, that was crazy. I know in one part of the book he talks about humping a ghost or something like that, but the cocaine chicken is what everybody's looking forward to. And it's kind of one of those things where, it wouldn't surprise me if it did happen because it came out of his own mouth. One thing about the New Edition story, the 3-night event last year, I want to know when Bobby was getting his haircut for the Every Little Step video. I think this was at the beginning of part 3. I want to know if his Gumby haircut was an accident. I really want to know, was it just added into the film for comedic, elements, or was it something that really happened in real life? I don't know if we'll ever know, but whatever. I love the haircut. The trailer itself looks great. Woody, this guy was definitely born to play Bobby Brown. I mean, wasn't there a Lifetime biopic called Whitney? And Bobby Brown, cool looking guy, but he played Bobby. I'm sorry, I don't know the guy's name. I have a picture on the screen. He didn't even have the gap. It's like he was like a caramel complexion, but Bobby's more like a Hershey bar complexion, like dark, like a chocolate complexion. So it's kind of like, I don't really buy this guy as Bobby Brown. Not to mention, on top of that, even though the movie was titled Whitney, it didn't really feel like a Whitney Houston film. It just felt like this biopic was just more, it felt more about Bobby than Whitney. I'm not saying it, trust me, that was not the worst biopic that Lifetime has put out. I think we can all agree on that. But it definitely didn't feel like the biopic was about the person that the title was, Whitney. It didn't feel like that at all. And I believe that Bobby Brown did like an hour or 30-minute long interview with someone. I forgot the interviewer's name, but he did an interview right after the biopic, Whitney. And again, it felt like he was really telling his side of the story, not discrediting Bobby, but it just felt like, for a Whitney film, I really don't feel like I know anything about. I felt like I knew more about Bobby's side than Whitney. And moving from there, I feel that this story is definitely something that's going to be hot on the coattails of the New Edition story, because one thing that New Edition said during different radio interviews was the fact that they had to shop their story around for 10 years, because nobody really felt that the New Edition story was something that people would care about, because the media was more invested about Bobby, Bobby losing Whitney, then losing his daughter and stuff like that. But when the New Edition movie came out and literally broke records, that's when it became, okay, yeah, New Edition as a collective is definitely something we want to get to know. So, but the Bobby Brown story, here's my thing. I would love to see the Johnny Gill story, because Johnny didn't get much shine at all during the New Edition story. Like, he kind of popped up, but if you watched his unsung TV1's unsung episode, you know about his various career from, you know, childhood to new up until New Edition, and then LSG, well, more solo work, then LSG, and then working on other projects as well. And what I think him, Bobby, and Ralph had heads of state. That was kind of like their answer to BBD, but that didn't happen until later in their careers. And I feel like, you know, Bobby Brown's story is definitely going to be the most popular. I'm talking like, you know, not the New Edition story, but talking about individual films. I feel like there should be the Bobby Brown story, and I'm going to rank it by my interest. Bobby Brown's is definitely at top. Johnny Gill, I want to know more about his story. BBD would be next, and then Ralph at the bottom. No offense to Ralph, but I would love to hear more about his story, because to be fair, I mean, in all honesty, when I'm looking at, like, you know, record sales and whatnot, notoriety, and the number of hit singles, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm just talking about hit singles by songs that I can like spit out the titles to when somebody mentions the artist's name. I think Ralph had the least. You know, when I think Ralph, all I can think about is Sensitivity. That's the only song I got. I know that Stone Cold Gentleman, and what was the other one? Do What I Gotta Do. I only know of them because after the New Edition story came out, I was, you know, online just looking up live performances for everybody's solo aspirations, and I feel like Ralph had a lot of those songs where I wasn't really feeling it when I listened to the album, but when I looked at the live performances, they came to life. So I feel like Ralph is definitely somebody. I really wanted to see Ralph in a radio interview or something like that. You know, we had Johnny on the Breakfast Club, BBD on the Breakfast Club, and obviously Bobby is always, you know, in an interview somewhere because he has such an extensive story. Not to say the rest don't, but I would definitely want to know more about Ralph as well. But BBD as a group, I mean, 3 members, with Mike Bivins obviously being the most prominent member in terms of creating more outside of the group. You know, he became like a mogul, what do you call, like a staple in the music industry as a whole. But yeah, I would love to see the Johnny Gill, BBD, and Ralph stories at some point. And, you know, again, it's sad that New Edition kind of split up again, but maybe with the success of the Bobby Brown story, it will bring them all together. I hope so, man. I swear they really should jump on the fact that the fans are going to be there. Like, you know, we're always here, we're excited, and I was hoping that they can reignite the flame of New Edition right off the coattails of the Bobby Brown story. But I'm sorry, I actually diverted from the trailer. But then again, this trailer definitely looks like it's going to cover Bobby's career, from not just New Edition, obviously, but when he first went solo, because there was a scene where he's, you know, in the music video for Girlfriends on the Don't Be Cruel tour. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Bobby Brown, New Edition, and Al B. Sure who were on tour together during the Heartbreak era. And I gotta admit, one thing that the New Edition story did, not just with casting the New Edition characters and Brooke Payne and whatnot, and the parents and the little New Editions, they really did a good job with like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, as well as Al B. Sure, who was only in like one scene. But I'm like, yo, this dude looks just like Al B. Sure. Had the, you know, big eyebrows and the hair and everything. That was really cool. So yeah, I'm really excited. You know, Don't Be Cruel, I actually did a video about Don't Be Cruel versus Heartbreak, and looking back, you know, I said that I love Don't Be Cruel better. It's not because, let me just say this much, even though Don't Be Cruel has more songs that I love than on New Edition's Heartbreak, I'll say that I've listened to If It Isn't Love, Can You Stand the Rain, and Boys to Men more than even Every Little Step, Roni, My Prerogative, and whatnot. It depends on my mood. Let's just put it that way. When I feel like I got an attitude, and because obviously I'm a full-time YouTuber, I do eBay as well. I'm my own man. Like, you know, I make my own money doing my own thing. You know, it's my prerogative. You know, I made this money, you didn't. So it depends on my mood which one that I love more than the other. I feel like New Edition's Heartbreak album was more about the fact that we got a new member, Johnny Gill, and Johnny, with his mature sound, was able to take the group to a new level. But when it comes to Bobby, I feel like Don't Be Cruel was definitely him taking charge because the odds were against him. You know, he got kicked out of New Edition. The King of Stage album really didn't go anywhere, but Don't Be Cruel, you know, blew everything else out of the water. It sold more than, if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it did sell more than Heartbreak. It won a Grammy. Well, Every Little Step won him a Grammy, something New Edition has never done. So Bobby Brown was able to catapult into superstardom thanks to this album and just show the haters, you know what, hey, even though New Edition let me go, I'm out here on my own, which is another song I love by Bobby. And he was okay on my own. Wow, Bobby just skyrocketed. It's just a shame that he was never to I guess you could say, recapture. Is that, yeah, capture that success after Don't Be Cruel. It's just a shame, but it looks like we're going to be covering a lot of his history, the ups and the downs. I'm not sure about Whitney Houston. I mean, I do know her best for playing Janae in The Game, Derwin Davis's baby mama. I don't want to judge you by the trailer. Based off the trailer alone, I'm really not feeling this Whitney Houston per se. But again, let me just wait till the film comes out. Then I'll see it in action because the trailer only shows so much. But I'm excited. I'm excited. I hope this film does well. You know, 2-night event. Hopefully it comes out on DVD or something unlike the New Edition story, which I'm still waiting for. But the trailer looks exciting. Hopefully as time goes on, because it's July 1st. Like, I literally started recording this in June, and then, you know, obviously it is 12/11 now. So yeah, this is a video that's interesting. I'm recording in 1 month and I'm going to finish in another. Hopefully we get some clips between now and early September when it airs. But I'm excited about the Bobby Brown story. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you excited about the story? What's some of your favorite Bobby Brown songs? How do you feel about the Whitney Houston portrayal in the film based off the trailer? And if you could pick between the Ralph Tresvant story, the Johnny Gill story, or the BBD story, which story would you want BET to make next in this, I guess you could say, New Edition franchise? I really feel like the interest is there for all the group members, not just Bobby. I feel like they should definitely wrap things up, you know, with a Johnny, Ralph, and BBD movie respectively. And then from there, you know, they could probably do the Boys to Men story and, you know, go from there. It's just so much they can cover. So thanks so much for tuning in. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll talk to you all later.